Don't pay a quarter, don't pay a dime, don't pay a penny, don't waste your time. If half a penny is all he asks, don't give him any. Lay off his tracks, my half a penny is what he'll say. Still a steep price, just walk away.
Welcome to Mahapenny's Miami Heat and More podcast. Let's welcome our host, Roy.
Good morning, Heat Nation, folks, cats, and everything in between and beyond. My name is Roy, the host of V's by Worthless, Half a Penny, Part 57, after 20 games. This host who's always admitted that he doesn't know what he's talking about is going to continue talking just for the love of the Heat. And it's so interesting because Raf came to me and says, oh my God, we are up to 6th in rebounds in the league. And I was like, yeah. That's what Ware had done. Haven't you been watching my videos? Because I talk about those things all the time. So today we are going to talk about the statistical milestone of being after 20. I think it's an important milestone because in the beginning, we don't know flukes, whatever it is. And then, of course, Hero coming back right now doesn't help much. But generally speaking, we know how this Miami Heat can play. We know how this Miami Heat can play consistently. And we know how we are pretty much kind of set up for more or for a little bit more, for a little bit less. But most of the times, teams tend to kind of, the situation kind of tends to shake up as it is after 20. Of course, it's not always the case, and it's not the case for every single team, but it does statistically apply to most of the teams. So how is our Miami Heat now faring? Yeah, bobbing up and down. So we're going to talk about, first of all, the Miami Heat loss against the Detroit Pistons. I couldn't record that video, unfortunately, but I'm proud that I had recorded a couple of videos, and I'm proud to record the video before that one. In this particular case, Miami Heat had a terrible game throughout three quarters. Throughout 3.5 quarters, even more than 3.5 quarters. So basically, I have this philosophy that I always keep saying because of loving the NBA, 48 minutes. Play the whole 48 minutes. Well, this Miami Heat, defensively, specifically, decided to play only about 7 minutes out of those 48. So they decided not to really play so much, those 41 minutes, but to play about 7 minutes. And with those 7 minutes, they were down 22 with under 8 to go. And they came up with 121 to 99 with about, under 8. And then we basically decided that, the defense started, it was time to play. The defense started that it was time to stop allowing those guys to get whatever they wanted in the paint. The difference in points in paint show exactly what I'm talking about. But Wiggins finished with 31 points. Powell with 28 points. Hero with 24 points. However, whereas Wiggins was a plus 12, Powell was a plus 15, Hero was actually a minus 18 with a little bit under 36% field goal percentage. And of course, Jaime Jaquez' absence was deeply felt because the entire bench unit finished with a negative. The only one in the starter lineup that finished with a negative is Hero. We're going to talk about the starter lineup enough, but basically it was 138, 135 at the end of the day, 43 rebounds to Detroit and 38 to us. 29 assists to 27, not a big deal. 11 steals to them, 12 to us. We win that. Tied with blocks 3-3. They got a 59% field goal percentage. We got exactly to 50. They got 42% three-point percentage, and we got about 48%. And our free throws have just been abysmally not well, 84.6%. I think that's one of those games that, we get the free throws theoretically, and everything shapes up exactly the way it has. We got the game. They got 74% on free throw percentage. But Detroit scored 76 points in the paint to Miami's 54. Second chance points, not a big deal. Not a big difference. 18 to Detroit, 16 to Miami. Fast break points, a big deal, but didn't make a difference. 26 to Miami, 19 to Detroit. But generally speaking, a game in which we basically decided that we were going to allow them to feast on the paint. And that's what happens even when your shooting improves, if you're letting them just come in and take whatever they want, that's what's going to happen. We're going to talk about the starting lineup soon enough. But first, After 20, how are we shaping up? So, first thing that we have to take a look at is that in field goal percentage, we are at 10th with about 48%. We are at seventh place with 37.3% 3-point percentage. Free throws, oh, it's embarrassing to see us at 79% at 13th. Offensive rating. So honestly, taking a look right now, I saw the defensive rating, of course, for the not defensive rating, defensive efficiency. But as it pertains to offensive rating, the Miami Heat are kind of below the 10th. Yeah, they are below the 10th. So I can't see the actual efficiency. The defensive rating, Miami is third, and it is second in defensive efficiency. Let me see. 108.4 is our pace. Let me see if we're still first in the league. First in the league in pace, right? First in the league in pace. We are at least third, fourth or fifth. No, fourth. Fourth, yeah, but we'll talk a look. We'll take a look at that. So offensive ratings to be discussed, etc. Okay, I understand that, no problem. Get her out of here. All right, very good. So let's take a look. Right, field goal percentage. Yeah. Let's talk about the other parts that are also important to mention here. Points per game. We are second in the league. Went back to second in the league. Went back. We dropped to second league and stayed in second. Actually, we dropped to third last time I recorded. We went up to second, of course, 135 points, 123.6 points. Rebounds per game, we are sixth, 46. Assists per game, we are second, not fourth, as I saw with 30.1. And we allow about 118.2 opponent scores per game. And that means that in that field, we are in 20th, which means we dropped 2 spots. As for our team leaders, field goal percentage per game, we got number 1, Kel'el Ware, with 53.6%, number 2, Jaime Jaquez with 53%, and number 3, Norman Powell with 49.8%. Of course, Davion Mitchell 49.7%, and Andrew Wiggins 48.7%. As starters, we got the top 3, and right now bench, we got the top 2. We're going to talk about why I don't like that idea soon enough, but this is the field goal percentage per game in our team. So good to go. Good on that respect, at least. Okay, very good. Now, as far as free throw percentage, Norman Powell could have been a lot better, but last few games has been missing a lot. 88.3% is number 1. Simone Fontecchio is pretty much falling out of rotation. 84.8% free throw percentage, and Bam Adebayo with 80.6%, and Kel'el Ware and number 4, and Pelle Larsson in number 5. 3-point field goal percentage per game. We got Norman Powell, of course, through 20 games, 44.4%. Again, Hero is intentionally left out of this, right? Kel'el Ware, 40.8%. And number 2, Simone Fontecchio, 39.3%. Falling our rotation, I still think is important. We'll see about that. And then we have Drew Smith, not surprised because of last season, 37.8%. And Davion Mitchell, 35.8%. All right, and as far as assists per game go, Davion Mitchell takes the cake with number 1, 7.6 assists per game. I think it can be better. Jaime Jaquez is number 2, which is amazing because it's a 6-man, 5.3. Pelle Larsson was a starter, now coming off the bench, still playing very well, 3.5 assists per game. Drew Smith coming off the bench, 3 assists per game. Both Nikola and Wiggins are tied at about 3 assists per game apiece. All right. And points per game, of course, we have Norman Powell leading the Heat. It wasn't going to be Hero, but again, Hero is intentionally left out with 25.7 points. Bam Adebayo, 18.9 points. Andrew Wiggins with 17.2 points. JJJ with 16.2 points in number 4, and Kel'el Ware with 12.4 points. We're going to talk about that soon enough because we have to talk about it. I think that our Miami Heat is doing very well through 20, 13-7. I don't think we dropped, right? Because Toronto lost. So third in the East. I'm not sure about games yesterday. Honestly, I was out of it. So if I'm missing something, I'm probably going to try to put it in the editing portion of this video. Now, Starters, in my opinion, in Raf's opinion too, they need to change. We talk about this all the time, and Raf says some things, and I say some things, and Raf knows a lot more basketball than I do, but I still say those things. Main question here is whether Hero or Powell get moved to the bench, since in 2 games, an emphasis on the smallest of samples, they did not do well in their stints together on the court, right? But I think it's still too early for that. And I know people are going to criticize, oh my God, can't you see? It's evident that the Miami Heat plays slower with Hero. I got to give it a Digital Adele. Digital Adele has been, I don't understand a lot of what Brady Hawk says. I've been understanding it more and more as time goes by. I understand the theory of it, but I can't see for myself. But when Adele explains something in his simplicity, shout out to Digital Adele, who's never going to watch this video, but still shout out to him. I just see it so simply now. Hero plays only off the dribble. Hero playing off the dribble does get the space a little bit rolled out because we are not, he's not just looking to pass immediately. He's not looking to shoot immediately, except for those few threes in transition. He takes the ball. The first thing he does is he dribbles. Against better defenses, he will need screens. I think it's evident that he wasn't doing very well in the first half, especially in the first quarter. But then he started doing better and better and better. But under 36% field goal percentage tells the game, and I think a minus 18. I don't like those minuses, and I don't think that it was indeed a minus 18. It was supposed to be a minus 18, but it does show a part of the story. So I like that. Now, I didn't see Hero play once without being off the dribble. But anyway, the Pistons, of all the teams since Hero came back, show that with this lineup, with Wiggins, Normal Powell, Hero, Bam, and Davion Mitchell, we're being bullied in the paint. This is not being the first game. And in this particular game, because of the difference in quality between those two teams, I thought that we had more quality, and that was evident again, right? It was obvious through the entire game. That's what we have to watch, 48 minutes and not 41, right? It's 48 minutes and not 41. So basically what I can, the one thing that I can say is that we allowed a lot of those touches in the paint. And I think that Khalil Ware is going to help us with that. We don't have another big, and I understand that part. As Raf said, Jovic not being able to show us that he's capable of coming off the bench and holding down the fort if we need that substitution, because again, right, we're going to have to stack minutes, Bam and Ware, if they do play together. And I believe Spo is going to do that eventually, right? Even if it's for one game, he's going to do that. But the point is this: a guy that was averaging in his 3 last game was averaging about over 15 points a game and 16 rebounds per game cannot be in the bench, right? A guy of his size, a guy of his wingspan, a guy that can effectively, if playing right, subvert and win against those better defenses cannot be in the bench. That's just my opinion. And obviously not just my opinion. After I have those opinions, I go on Twitter and I see, oh, other people think like me. And yes, that makes me feel a little bit more justified, because I say, okay, that's not such a trashy opinion. So, again, I think that Wiggins, of course, going off for 31 points does not help my case whatsoever. But I think that packing the paint and having Ware there possibly would have put him in foul trouble. But I bet that he would have reduced this almost 20, it's over 20 points difference in points to the paint. It just cannot happen, right? Miami's doing well, right? Not only statistically, even when losing, we're doing well, a lot better than last season. And of course, the last 4 games against Detroit, we lost, and we lost by 3 points or less, I think. After 20, the Heat have shown they can go to about 50 wins, that's my opinion, and avoid a play-in. Unlike the team that had potential last season, and Duncan Robinson said, well, potential is nothing until realized. Well, this team is realizing it. And I think that this situation between Hero and Powell is going to improve, and we're going to see a solution for that. Whether one of them comes off the bench, whether they learn to play better together, that's going to happen. What I don't believe is going to happen is that Jovic is going to play better this year. I don't think that that's a possibility. Unfortunately, I think it's too late for that. I think he's in a slump, same slump that Jaime Jaquez was last year entirely, the same slump that Duncan Robinson had for the entire year, the same slump that Hero had for the entire year, and arguably Bam Adebayo, but to a lesser extent. So those slumps exist. They're reasonable. Unfortunately, it's not his second year; it's his third year, but it does happen. It is what it is, and I don't want to get rid of Jovic, but if Jovic, if Jovic is potential, first of all, Jovic does have a ceiling, but if Jovic's potential is seductive to another team to get us somebody that could be a filler, another big that could help us rebound when on the court. I'm out or just help us pack the paint and defend well, so that this obscenity that happened on Saturday night does not happen again. Maybe that's a situation for Jovic. So I'm no longer thinking, oh, nobody's untouchable in this team. No, Jovic is obviously touchable. And I hope that we come out of the tunnel. And somebody said this, and I think it's very important. I think it summarizes very well the season that we're in, right? Last season, we had an issue with the diva, a drama queen who's right now calling out his team in public. I don't know why he thinks. I have my psychological theories about that diva. I'm just not going to talk about him too much because I don't think it's important. But the team was everybody said that the mood in the oh my god, man, in the locker room was horrible. This year we had Spo lose his house in a fire. Hero didn't play a single game because of injuries. We had so many interesting little things happen throughout the season, and yet we are still doing well. So I think that summarizes perfectly well the strength, the culture, whatever you want to call it, is there. We are doing a lot better. And I think that, we can aspire to playoffs. We can aspire even to a conference finals. I don't think that we can aspire to anything more than that. And that is a stretch, but immensely better than last season and in good position for a better season in 2026-27. In any case, folks, stay safe, stay dry, stay warm, and stay as happy as possible in this very complicated world of ours. Happy December. Let's go Heat.